Greetings, citizens of Nerdtropolis. Sean Taj here, the mayor of Nerdtropolis, and on this episode of Real Insights, my guest is actor Tom Blyth, who stars in Billy the Kid. Hello, Tom. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hi, Sean. It's great to meet you too. Thank you for having me.
Of course, I wanted to first congratulate you on all your success. You're definitely killing it. You're young. You got a lot ahead of you. I'm super excited for your career.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Appreciate it.
I really love this series, Billy the Kid, especially as a history minor myself. Billy Kid was
Oh,
always one of the most popular outlaws in American history.
yeah. Did you study Western history at all in your course?
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot. So I'm political
Oh, cool.
science major, minor in history. I mean, I covered a bunch of stuff. That was
Oh,
always
wow.
my strongest subject in school since the get-go.
Yeah, I didn't study history, but I've always been very interested in it. And I think part of the reason why I always wanted to be an actor actually was to kind of get to be a layman's historian, like an everyman historian, and just kind of like dip my toe into different worlds and different histories. And I definitely get to do that with this show.
Yeah, it's like you're time traveling with the show, which is awesome. What is
Yeah.
it like to embody a legendary historical figure like Billy the Kid? And how do you feel once you put on the costume?
Yeah, I mean, there is at the beginning, at least, there was a lot of pressure to kind of. I was like, how am I going to do this justice? How am I going to get it right? Like, I can't listen to recordings of him. I don't know what he sounded like. And then I realized that was all actually. It could be freedom, depending on how you look at it. It's like it can be freedom to go. Okay, well, there are no recordings of him. I don't know what he sounded like, but because of that, I get to like do the research, look at where he grew up in the slums of the Irish slums of New York City. Um, Probably speaking English and Gaelic and an Irish accent, and then moved west when he was very young, moved to Kansas, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, everywhere in between. So what would he sound like if all of those mashed up into one and became like a mix of like an Irish and a Southwestern accent? How does he walk because of riding horses all the time? Where does he carry his tension? All that stuff. And then the minute you put the costume on, as you say, it's like that is like the ultimate like putting the hat on. I mean, literally, um, you put the hat on and the boots, and you feel it. Like you can feel him come to life. And we have an amazing costume designer, Carol Case, who took the only kind of one verified photo that we know is Billy the Kid, and designed a bunch of costumes that were kind of based loosely off that look. And at one point, I put the costume on, looked in the mirror, and I was like, "Oh my god, that there he is! Like that's the guy in the picture." So yeah, it felt amazing.
Yeah, everyone's doing a great job. I feel transported into that era. The series is filled with chases and shootouts. There's so much to the show. Do you have a favorite action sequence that you filmed from any of the seasons so far?
I think the beginning of this season, part one of this season, I think it's like episode 3 or 4. There's a chase where we go into this valley, and which we see the Seven Rivers gang. We chase them into the valley, and then like we climb up this rock face, and there's a shootout on these two opposing rock faces. And at one point, I climb up higher to get a better view, and this stuntman gets hit, and he takes this tumble off this rock and falls down. And then I chase him around, and I come and I ambush Jesse and save Charlie from the grasp of Jesse. And that whole sequence was just like such fun to film. And I watched it and I was like, it transposes to the TV. It's like, it's so exciting. And then we have a couple more in part 2 coming up as well, which are really cool and take place in the snow and the ice, and the weather is like its own dangerous aspect in it. So it adds even more tension. So I think that'll be exciting for people to see.
I think westerns are just an underrated genre. It's so much fun and they're so historical at the same time. Despite his horrific acts, Billy Kid, what parts of his personality or things you learned about that you were really drawn to and really fascinated by?
Yeah, I mean, we see it in season 1, but he's a mummy's boy. He's a killer with a heart of gold, Like he really is kind of trying to do right by his family, and he keeps falling off the wagon in that sense. But he has a heart of gold at the end of the day. Like he really does. He doesn't want to be a leader. He doesn't want to be a killer, but he keeps reluctantly getting pulled into these situations. And so I think that's something I kind of love about him, is like he's a man of many different colors and aspects that kind of all sometimes are at odds with each other. He's just like immensely human in that way.
And that's really just the times it was back then too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the wild, wild west.
It's
It's
literally the
fun.
Wild West. I mean, and he's trying to be civilized in a wild place, and it's not as easy as he thinks.
No, it's fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing more. I'm already just blown away from the series and looking forward to seeing more from your career, Tom. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sean. Appreciate it.
Once again, this is Sean Taj, the mayor of Nerdtropolis, and stay tuned for more movie news, reviews, interviews, and trailers.